All right, we are live from Brutus Hollar. Oh gosh, where's my switch? I can't turn myself on. All right, well, sorry about that. Let's see who we got here. Jay and Brother Joe. And Koala Bear. All right. All right. Let's see. Get a little more there. There we go. Okay. Good evening, Glenn. How are you? How are you? Hey, Luann, how are you? Hey, Tom. Heading up by 75, passing all those cities by, through the cotton fields and Georgia's rolling hills. Soon I'll be up on the mountainside, back to where I used to hide from all those city lights and all those restless nights. I'm coming home, Carolina, sure do hope to find you just the way I left you in 2002. There's a memory I still share. I can still see her there with her faded jeans and her long blonde hair. I'm gonna find a way to finally be here to stay. I'll be back home in my hometown. I'm gonna find you now. I'm gonna search this town. I know the places where we used to go when we were running round in my hometown. My hometown. Coming home, Carolina, to my hometown. Headed down the river road to the place we used to go, where we used to catch our trout, where the river washed it out. I tried to look around some more. I even looked in the country store, where we used to buy our s'mores when we camped in the great outdoors. I'm coming home, Carolina, sure do hope to find you just the way I left you in 2002. There's a memory I still share. I can still see her there in her faded jeans and her long red hair. I'm gonna find a way to finally be here to stay. I'll be back home in my hometown. I'm gonna find you now. I'm gonna search this town. I know the places where we used to go when we were running round in my hometown. My hometown. Coming home, Carolina, to my hometown. I'm gonna find a way to finally be here to stay. I'll be back home in my hometown, coming home, Carolina, to my hometown. I'm coming home, Carolina, to my hometown. All right, so I'll put a little song from a good friend from Altamont Springs, Doug Matern, wrote that tune. Getting some Florida weather, huh, Tom? We had Florida weather here today, too. It was 70 some odd degrees. I had to hike it over to the VA in Franklin to get my hearing aids fixed. The speaker fell off of my right hearing aid. But they have a clinic on Tuesdays. It's first come, first served. They call it the Minute Clinic. And it starts at 1 o'clock and it runs till 3. And if you get there in time, you can get in and get your stuff done and not have to send anything off and be without it. So I've got both ears in tonight. Hello, David Jones. How are you? I got to say, you know, coming over by Standing Indian there, those of you that have been in this area know what I'm talking about. Route 64 between Hayesville and Franklin, you cross over where the Appalachian Trail is, and there's some pretty steep cliffs where they blasted through the rock, and they're always covered in ice this time of the year, and there's a lot of people that go there and try to climb those things. We call them crazy people. But there's something pretty about the trees just being bare in the sunlight with a blue sky. It was just beautiful this morning. But yeah, I don't want this weather to linger. This is death to the peach trees. They don't need to get started yet. They got another month to wait. Yeah. You know, I'm missing everything tonight, aren't I? All right. That's okay, Larry. You're making a good move, trust me. I know they say you can't go home again, but I just had to come back one more time. Ma'am, I know you don't know me from Adam, but those handprints in those concrete steps are mine. But up those stairs in that little back bedroom is where I did my homework and learned to play guitar. And I'll bet you didn't know that under that live oak, my favorite dog is buried in your yard. And I thought if I could touch this place or feel it, this brokenness inside me might start healing. Well, out here it's like I'm someone else. I thought that maybe I could find myself. If I could just come in, I swear I'll leave. I won't take nothing but a memory from the house that built me. Well, Mama cut out pictures of houses for years, from Better Homes and Gardens magazines. Oh, Plans were drawn, concrete poured, nail by nail and port by port. My daddy gave life to mama's dream. And I thought if I could touch this place or feel it, this brokenness inside me might start healing. Well, out here it's like I'm someone else. I thought that maybe I could find myself. If I could just come in, I swear I'll leave. I won't take nothing but a memory from the house that built me. Well, you move out and you move on and you do the best you can. I got lost in this whole world and forgot who I am. And I thought if I could touch this place or feel it, with this brokenness inside me might start healing. Out here it's like I'm someone else. I thought that maybe I could find myself. If I could walk around, I swear I'll leave. I won't take nothing but a memory from the house that built me. Nothing but a memory. Little music from Miranda Lambert. All right. Uncle Pete, that's about the house next door to yours, buddy. Let's see what we're going to pick up here. I don't know what I'm doing here in Houston. The last thing I remember, I was gone to Mexico. I guess it has to do with a girl named Susan. I left her in that little town a week or so ago. I never thought I'd leave Carolina. A sad song of a love gone wrong is putting me on the road. Lord, you know I've always loved to travel, but miles and miles with a worried mind is a mighty heavy load. And way out here the wind is blowing wild, stirring up a healing in my soul. Oh, it hurts a little less with every mile. It's gonna take a while to get back on the long road home. I'm the kind of man that lets his conscience lead him. I've seen the way those velvet chains can claim a young man's dream. If it's down to choices, give me freedom. As long as there's a place somewhere that I ain't never seen. 'Cause I've still got a few more years to gamble. If I can find a way to play the hand the future holds, till I find peace of mind, let me ramble. I'll get around to settling down before I get too old. And way out here the wind is blowing wild, stirring up a healing in my soul. Oh, it hurts a little less with every mile. Lord, it's gonna take a while to get back on the long road, the long road home. And way out here the wind is blowing wild, stirring up a hill in my soul. Oh, it hurts a little less with every mile. It's gonna take a while to get back on the long road home, the long road home. I don't know what I'm doing here in Houston. Song from my good friend Larry Mitchell. Let me see, Jay. I might be able to do that one. I haven't done that in a while. What key? Here. Little Alan Jackson song here. You know, I gotta say, when I got to the VA this morning, it was more crowded than usual. Normally, I take the first available appointment in the morning. I'm usually over there around 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'm the first one there. My thought is that if I get there the first appointment, the doctor hasn't kind of gone over his schedule yet, you know, so you're in and you're out. But I got to sit in a room, and it was packed today, and I just looked around at all these guys and girls, and I was humbled. I mean, there were people there from Korea, a lot of Vietnam vets, a couple Desert Storm folks, but mostly older folks, and I was just, I can't describe it. It was an experience. Little Alan Jackson. Born the middle son of a farmer in a small town southern man. Like his daddy's daddy before him, grew up working on the land. Fell in love with a small town woman, they married up and settled down. Natural way of life if you're lucky for a small town southern man. First there came 4 pretty daughters for a small town southern man. Then a few years later came another, and boy, she wasn't planned. 7 people living all together in a house built with his own hands. Isn't it life if you're lucky with a small town southern man? And he bowed his head to Jesus, and he stood for Uncle Sam. And he only loved one woman, he was always proud of what he had. He said his greatest contribution was the ones you leave behind. Raised on the ways and gentle kindness of a small town southern man. Callous hands told the story for the small town southern man. He gave it all to keep it all together, keep his family on his land. Like his daddy, years wore out his body, made it hard just to walk and stand. Oh, you can break the back, but you can't break the spirit of a small town southern man. And he bowed his head to Jesus, and he stood for Uncle Sam. And he only loved one woman, he was always proud of what he had. He said his greatest contribution was the ones you leave behind. Raised on the words and gentle kindness of a small town southern man. Well, finally death came a-calling for the small town southern man. He said, it's right, don't you worry, they got me by the hand. You cry, don't you worry, I'm blessed, I understand. God's got a place up in heaven for a small town southern man. And he bowed his head to Jesus, and he stood for Uncle Sam. And he only loved one woman, he was only proud of what he had. He said his greatest contribution is the ones you leave behind. Raised on the words and gentle kindness of a small town southern man. Raised on the words and gentle kindness of a small town southern man. Alan Jackson. I don't know if you all know out there in the audience, our friend Jay Jenkins, who is on the show just about every week, grew up right nearby Alan Jackson, and I think that's how he got his love for music. Vince Gill. Well, I'd love to hear my daddy singing once again all the songs he taught me when I was a kid. Old Ship, John Henry, and Faded Love, I fall to pieces and on the wings of a dove. Just a few chords on the banjo, that was all he knew. But in the eyes of a child, man, his fingers flew. So I practiced and I practiced until I got it right. I packed up everything and just took off one night. Well, I made it from the beer joints to the opera stage. She said the only difference is what you're getting paid. You didn't seem to care that everyone knew my name. You said it's all for nothing if you don't stay the same. And when he died, the preacher cried, said he's the lucky one. Walking hand in hand with God's only Son. Yeah, my faith and common sense, they tell me that preacher's right. Oh, but I'd love to hear that banjo ring for me tonight. Well, I will honor my Father with these words that I sing now. As long as I remember Him, He'll always be around. and the pain of losing him, it cuts like a ramble knife. I learned a few chords on the banjo was the key to life. Yeah, the pain of losing him, it cuts like a handle knife. A few chords on the banjo, that's the key to life. Little Vince Gill. Snowing in Seattle, all right, all right. Y'all don't get really much snow out there, do you, John? It's mostly rain, isn't it? Well, he's just a singer, a natural born guitar ringer, kind of an old cleaner, sad old song. He's not a walk behind her, he's not a new note finder, but his name is a reminder of a blues man who's already gone. When he started drinking, he took things and messed up his thinking. He was sure sinking when she came along. He was alone in the spotlight, not much left inside. But she came out that one night and she sang him this song. Hey baby, I love you. Baby, I need you. Baby, you ain't got to prove to me that you're some kind of macho man. You wasted so much of your life running in the dark night. Let me shed some love light down on that blues man. So tired of the speeding, all the things they said he was needing. If he was to keep pleasing all his fans, he got cuffed on the dirt road. He got sued for no shows, but you came and took all that load down from that blues man. He sang, hey baby, I love you too. Baby, I need you. Baby, I do get tired of this traveling thing. You know I'm a whole lot older now. Life would sure be colder now when you hadn't stuck it out with this blues man. Yes, I'm a whole lot older now. Life would sure be colder now if you hadn't hung around with this blues man. Song there for the koala bear. Thank you, Koala. All right, let's see here. Hello, Terry. Well, honey, load up your questions and pick up your sticks and your stones and pretend I'm a shelter for heartaches that don't have a home. Choose the words that cut like razors, and all that I'll say is fire away. Take your best shot, give me what you got. Now, honey, now I'm not afraid. Right back into the game. Fire away. Well, I wish I could say that I've never been here before. Oh, but you know and I know that I'll always come back for more. Your love might be my damnation, and I'll cry to my grave. You take your best shot, give me what you got. Now, honey, now I'm not afraid. Ooh, we're back into the game. Fire away. Your love might be my damnation, and I'll cry to my grave. So fire away. You take your best shot, give me what you got. Now, honey, now I'm not afraid. No, we're back into the game. Fire away, fire away. I'm Chris Stapleton. We got the West Coast well represented tonight. We got Terry and we got John. Welcome, folks. Everybody likes that dog song, don't they, Jay? Getting a good response in my live shows with that song. We'll do it in a minute. Guy Clark. Pack up all your dishes, make note of all good wishes, say goodbye to the landlord for me. That son of a bitch has always bored me. Throw out those LA papers, that moldy box of vanilla wafers. Adios to all this concrete. Gonna get some dirt road back street. If I can just get off of this LA freeway without getting killed or caught, I'd be down the road in a cloud of smoke in a land that I ain't bought. Here's to you, old skinny Dennis, the only one I ever will miss. I can hear that old bass singing, sweet and low like a gift you're bringing. Play it for me one more time now. Got to give it all we have now. I believe everything you're saying, just to keep on playing. If I can just get off of this LA freeway without getting killed or caught, I'll be down the road in a cloud of smoke to some land that I ain't bought. If I can just get off of this LA freeway without getting killed or caught, down the road in a cloud of smoke to some land that I ain't bought. Put the pink strip in the mailbox, leave the key in your front door lock. They'll find it, likely as not. I'm sure there's something we have forgot. Oh, Susanna, don't you cry, babe. Love's a gift that's surely handmade. I believe in every believing. Don't you think it's time we're leaving? If I can just get off of this LA freeway without getting killed or caught, I'll be down the road in a cloud of smoke to some land that I ain't bought. If I can just get off of this LA freeway without getting killed or caught, I'll be down the road in a cloud of smoke to some land that I ain't bought. Guy Clark. That is a good song. That is a good song. Of course, I understand they had the LA freeway. It was blocked the other day, wasn't it? I think that's what it was. One of them highways out there. Thank you, John. Thank you. Thank you. Guy Clark is such an interesting songwriter and an influential one. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, his music found its way to a lot of different places, and a lot of people don't know it's him. I think who had the hit with that song? That was Jerry Jeff Walker had a hit with LA Freeway, I believe. Is that correct? Where's my fact checkers out there? That was Jerry Jeff, wasn't it? Well. When this world starts to reeling from that pressure drop feeling, you're still treading water each day. There's a way to feel better, be well set to weather the storm till the sun shines again. When your compass is spinning and you're lost on the way, like a leaf in the wind, friend, hear me when I say, well, bubbles up, they will point you toward home. No matter how deep or how far you roam, they will show you the surface, the plot and the purpose. So when your journey gets long, just know that your love, there's a light up above, and the joy, it's always enough. Well, bubbles up. To my friends who are jolly when melancholy knocks, sometimes they let her in. The sit and tell stories of the flops and the glories, but it ain't half as bad as the bends. Sometimes living's a struggle, multiplied double, but we love it too much for the parties to end. Well, bubbles up, they will point you towards home, no matter how deep or how far you roam. They will show you the surface, the plot and the purpose, so when your journey gets long, just know that you're loved. There's a light up above, and the joy, it's always enough. Oh, bubbles up. Well, let's pop a cork through the rough and the right, through the bright precious days and the dark sacred nights. Oh, bubbles up, they will point you towards home, no matter how deep or how far you roam. They will show you the surface, the plot and the purpose, so when your journey gets long, just know that you're loved. There's a light up above, and the joy, it's always enough. Oh, bubbles up. Oh, bubbles up. Bubbles up. Jimmy Buffett. The more I listen and play that song, the more I think it's one of the best songs he's ever done. Absolutely. You know, I read a post the other day about people that adopt dogs. You know, when you think about it, unless you're my age, chances are you're going to outlive that dog. And yet you've taken that on knowing that you're going to live for that day when you're going to have to put that dog down or put him in the ground. And that's a big commitment. And I think some people that have pets don't understand that. But here's a song from Chris. Gonna tell you a story about an old friend of mine. Somebody left her in a shopping cart in a parking lot for us to find. It was just a fuzzy black pup, hungry and feeling alone. We put her in the back seat and told her we was taking her home. Run, Maggie, run, with the heart of a rebel child. Run, Maggie, run, just as free as you are wild. Well, a couple kids later, we moved out on the farm. She followed those kids around, yeah, she kept them from harm. And she loved to chase squirrels and play out in the snow. She took off like a rocket. Lord, man, you should have seen her go. Run, Maggie, run, with the heart of a rebel child. Oh, run, Maggie, run, be just as free as you are wild. Run, Maggie, run, with the heart of a rebel child. Hey, run, Maggie, run, be just as free as you are wild. It was raining on a Monday, the day that Maggie died. She woke up and couldn't use her legs, so I laid down by her side. She put her head in my hand, like she'd done so many times. I told her she was a good dog, then I said goodbye. Run, Maggie, run, with the heart of a rebel child. Oh, run, Maggie, run, be just as free as you are wild. You know, I had a revelation as the tractor dug the hole. I can tell you right now that a dog has a soul. And I said to myself as we buried her there on the hill, I never had me a better dog, and I guess I never will. Run, Maggie, run, with the heart of a rebel child. Oh, run, Maggie, run, be just as free as you are wild. Run, Maggie, run, with the heart of a rebel child. Oh, run, Maggie, run, be just as free as you are wild. Just as free as you are wild. Chris Stapleton. Well, thank you, Terry. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You know, I don't know that I have that song in my cheat list. Let me see. Ooh, yes I do. I'm going to have to read these words now, so we'll see. From the great Atlantic Ocean to the wide Pacific shore, she climbs the flowery mountains, o'er the hills and wild shores. She's mighty tall and handsome, she's known by one and all. She's the regular combination on the Wabash Cannonball. Listen to the jingle, the rumble and the roar, as she glides along the woodlands, o'er the hills and by the shores. She's a mighty rush of the engine, hear those hobos call, traveling through the jungle on the Wabash Cannonball. She came down from Birmingham on a cold September day. She pulled into the station, you could hear the people say, she's from Tennessee, she's long and she is tall. She's the regular combination on the Wabash Cannonball. Listen to the rumble and the roar, as she rides along the woodlands, through the hills and by the shores. Hear the mighty rush of the engine, hear those lonesome hobos call, traveling through the jungle on the Wabash Cannonball. Here's the daddy klaxon, may his name forever stand. He's always be remembered in the courts throughout the land. Earthly race is over, the curtains round him fall. They'll carry him home to Dixie on the Wabash Cannonball. Listen to the rumble, the rattle and the roar. She glides along the woodlands, on the hills and by the shore. Mighty rush of the engine, hear those lonesome hobos call, traveling through the jungle on the Wabash Cannonball. Traveling through the jungle on the Wabash Cannonball. I did my best. Is that right, Terry? How about that? Small world. Thank you, Glenn. I went through the desert with a mouse with no name. No, that ain't it. Ah. This is a kind of a cynical look at a traveling musician's life. It's from buddy somebody. It'll come to me. A showman's life is the smoky bar and the fevered chase of a shining star, a motel room in a lonely while. From what I've seen of a showman's life, nobody told me about this part. They told me all about the pretty girls, the wine, the money, and the good times, but no mention of all the wear and tear on an old honky-tonker's heart. Well, I might have known it, but nobody told me about this part. A boy will dream his children do of the great wide way till the dream comes true. A phony smile in the colored lights, that's all it is to a showman's life. Nobody told me about this part. They told me all about the pretty girls in the wine, oh, and the money, and the good times, with no mention of all the wear and tear on an old honky-tonker's heart. Well, I might have known it, but nobody told me about this part. Oh, I might have known it, but nobody told me about this part. Buddy Miller, songwriter. Careful, Terry, you're with Mr. Railroad now. Buddy Miller, that's right, Buddy Miller. Buddy Miller is he is a Nashville session man as well as a singer-songwriter and an excellent guitarist. Has a great band, and he backed up Solomon Burke on his Nashville album. And if you've not listened to that, I would encourage you to do that. Solomon was an R&B artist out of Philadelphia, but kind of like Ray Charles did in his life. He got the country vibe going, and he did a session in Nashville, and there's a great video on YouTube about it, and if you get a chance, have a listen. Big Iron, wow. Marty Robbins. To the town of Agrafia rode a stranger one fine day. Hardly spoke to folks around him, didn't have too much to say. No one stopped to ask his business, no one dared to make a slip. Oh, the stranger there among them had a big iron on his head, a big iron on his head. It was early in the morning when he rode into the town. He came riding from the south side, slowly looking all around. No one stopped to ask his business, no one dared to make a slip. Oh, the stranger there among them had a big iron on his head, big iron on his head. Now in this town there lived an outlaw by the name of Texas Red. Many men had tried to take him, and that many men were dead. He was vicious and a killer, though a youth of 24, and the notches on his pistol numbered 1 in 19 more, 1 in 19 more. But it wasn't long before the story. Now the strangers started talking, made it plain to folks around. He was an Arizona Ranger, wouldn't be too long in town. He was here to take a killer back alive or maybe dead. He said it didn't matter, he was after Texas Red, after Texas Red. It wasn't long before the story was relayed to Texas Red. But the outlaw didn't worry, men who tried before were dead. "20 men had tried to take him, 20 men had made a slip. 21 would be the ranger with the big iron on his head, big iron on his head." Oh, the morning passed so quickly, it was time for them to meet. It was 20 past 11 when they walked out in the street. Folks were watching from their windows, everybody held their breath, for they knew this handsome ranger was about to meet his death, about to meet his death. There was 40 feet between them when they stopped to make their play. And the swiftness of the ranger is still talked about today. Texas Red had not broke leather when a bullet barely ripped, and the ranger's aim was deadly with the big iron on his head, the big iron on his head. It was over in a moment, and the crowd all gathered round. There before them lay the body of the outlaw on the ground. Oh, he might have gone on living, But he made one fatal slip when he tried to match the ranger with the big iron on his hip. The big iron on his hip. Big iron, big iron. He tried to match the ranger with the big iron on his hip. Little Marty Robbins. The Groundhog Day movie. Dawn's been watching that on her phone a little bit of a time. All right, we got one more song here for you tonight. I think I'll leave you a little cowboy song. Thank you, Luann. Whoops. Let's undo this. This is the last cowboy song, the end of 100-year wars. The voices sound sad as they're singing along. Another piece of America's lost. He rides to feedlots and clerks in a market on weekends, selling tobacco and beer. His days are spent surrounded by fences, but he'll dream tonight of when fences weren't here. Oh, he blazed the trails with Lewis and Clark, and eyeball to eyeball old Wyatt back down. Stood shoulder to shoulder with Travis in Texas, and rode with the 7th when Custer went down. Well, this is the last cowboy song, the end of 100-year wars. The voices sound sad as they're singing along. Another piece of America's lost. Remington showed us what he looked like on canvas, and Louis L'Amour, he told us his tale. And Willie and Waylon and I sing about him, and wish to God we could have ridden his trail. Well, this is the last cowboy song, the end of 100-year wars. The voices sound sad as they're singing along. Another piece of America's lost. You know, the American cowboy is something unique in the world. Never been anything like it or anything since. But they drive down the highway and they go past these grave sites and they don't even think about them at all. Like living and dying is all that they ever did. But this is the last cowboy song, the end of 100-year wars. The voices sound sad as they're singing along. Another piece of America's lost. This is the last cowboy song. I thank y'all for tuning in, and we will see y'all next week. Watch your step when leaving the train. All right. Thank you, Cliff. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight. Appreciate it. We'll see y'all next week. And I will be taking some excerpts out of this show like I did last week. Hey, Scott, how are you, buddy? I didn't know you were here. Good to see you. All right. We'll see y'all next week. Thank you much.